Welcome to IITN GATE classes. Today we'll be discussing about GATE 2021 electrical machines solutions. First of all, let's see the weightage. So in GATE 2021, the total electrical machines weightage is 8 marks, out of which we got 2 1-mark questions and 3 2-mark questions. First of all, so let's go to our first question, which is a 1-mark question. So what does the question say is, the power input to a 50 volts 500 volts 50 H 6 pole 3-phase induction motor running at 975 RPM is 40 kilowatt, and they have given us the stator losses as 1 kilowatt and the friction and windage losses as 2.025 kilowatt, and they are asking us to find out the efficiency of the motor. So for any machine, not generally the efficiency of induction motor or any motor is given by motor output by motor input. So let's see the power flow diagram. So from the power flow diagram, we have a stator power input, and if we subtract the stator copper loss as well as the core losses, we will be getting a stator power output, which is nothing but the rotor power input or the air gap power. So from that, if we substitute the rotor copper losses and the mechanical losses, we will be getting the motor output. So in this case, the rotor copper losses are not mentioned, and moreover, the rotor copper losses generally are a very small amount and can be neglected. So they have given us the power input to the induction motor as 40 kilowatt. Now the rotor input, which is nothing but an air gap power, can be given as motor input minus stator losses, that is 39 kilowatt. Now we have to calculate the slip of the induction motor, which is given by Ns minus Nr by Ns, where Ns is the synchronous speed, that is 1000 RPM, and Nr is the 975 RPM, which is given in the question. So the slip will be 0.025. Now the rotor input is given by 1 minus S into PAG. PAG is nothing but the air gap power. So this gives us 38.025 kilowatt. So we got the rotor input power. They have already given us the mechanical losses, which are nothing but the frictional and windage losses. So if we subtract these losses from the rotor input power, we will be getting the motor output, which is 36 kilowatt. So we got the motor input and the motor output. So the efficiency is given by 36 by 40 into 100, it comes around 90%. So we'll go to the next question, which is a 1-mark question. So they have given us a tabular form consisting of constructional features, machine type, and the mitigation techniques used. So they're asking us to find out the correct combination. So generally for synchronous machines, damper bars are used to avoid hunting. That is one case. That is one combination, which is P, U, and X. Damper bars, synchronous machine, hunting. And the next we have in induction machine, skewed rotor slots are used to avoid magnetic locking, because induction machine is not a synchronous machine, right? The rotor speed is always less than the synchronous speed. So to avoid the magnetic locking in induction motor, skewed rotor slots are used. So Q, U, and Y. That is the next Q, S and Y. That is the next combination. And the last one, in DC machine generally we use the compensating winding to reduce the armature reaction. So we have another combination is R, V, and Z. Let's go to the next question, which is a 2 marks question. 8 pole 50 H 3-phase slip ring induction motor has an effective rotor resistance of 0.08 ohms per phase, and they have given the speed at maximum torque as 650 RPM. Now they are asking us to find out the additional resistance per phase that must be inserted in the rotor to achieve the maximum torque at the starting. Okay, so they have also given us neglected magnetizing current and stator leakage impedance, and also consider equivalent circuit parameters referred to the stator. So generally the slip corresponding to the maximum torque is given by S max, which is equal to R2 by X2. R2 is the rotor resistance, X2 is the rotor reactance. So given the, they have also given us the speed, right, which is 650 RPM. That is the speed corresponding to the maximum torque. So we know the synchronous speed, right, Ns equal to 120 F by P. If you do that, we will be getting 750 RPM. So using 750 RPM and 650 RPM, we can get the slip corresponding to the maximum torque. That is 750 minus 650 by 750, which is 0.1333. So if you see the equation 1 and equation 2 both are same, right? So if you equate equation 1 and 2, we can get the rotor reactance because they already given us the rotor resistance. So that is 0.1333 to 0.08, which is equal to 0.601. Now, for finding the maximum, the resistance required for maximum torque, we know that that rotor resistance plus external resistance should be equal to the rotor reactance. So for maximum torque, rotor resistance, including the external resistance, should be equal to the rotor reactance. So we know X2, that is 0.601. We also know R2, that is 0.08. So if you take the difference of these two, you'll be getting the external resistance that must be inserted in the rotor circuit to achieve the maximum torque at starting, which is 0.521 ohms. Okay, let's go to our next question, which is a 2 marks question, and it is from DC machines. So what does the question says? A belt-driven DC shunt generator running at 300 RPM delivers 100 kilowatt to a 200 volts DC grid. It continues to run as a motor when the belt breaks, taking 10 kilowatt from the DC grid. And they are given us the armature resistance as 0.025 ohms, field resistance is 50 ohms, and the brush drop is 2 volts. So now they are asking us to find out the speed of the motor in RPM. So here we have two operations. One is a generator operation, other one is a motor operation. So in general, for a DC machine, the induced voltage can be given as is equal to pi Zn by 60 into P by A. Now, first of all, let's take the generator operation. So in the generator operation, the load current in generator, the machine is giving power to the grid, right? So the current is flowing out of the machine. So the load current is given by 100 kilowatt by 200 volts, which is the DC grid voltage, that is 500 RPM. 500 RPM is flowing out. So that is nothing but the load current IL. And we know the shunt field current, right? That is nothing but 200 volts by 50 ohms, which is 4 amps. So if you subtract 4 amps from the 500 amp, we have to add to get the armature current. So that is 504 amps. Once we have the armature current, the induced voltage EG can be given as V plus terminal voltage plus IARA drop plus brush drop. So that is equal to 200 plus IARA, that is 504 into 0.025, which is armature resistance plus 2 ohms. So this 2 volts, this gives us 214.6 volts. Now let's go to the motoring operation. So in the motoring operation, the machine takes the power from the grid, right? So the input current will be the same and the shunt field current will also be the same. Only the thing is armature current is a difference of the field current and the load current. Earlier in the generating operation, it is a sum. Now it is a difference. So we'll be getting 46 amperes. Now the back EMF here will be EB equal to V minus IARA minus brush drop. So that is equal to 196.85 volts. So from equation 1, we know that E is proportional to N, right? So E motor by E generator equal to N motor by N generator, right? So we know EB, EG, and what else we know? They also given the DC generator is running at 300 RPM, that is N generator. So if you substitute that and solve this equation, we will be getting motor speed as 275.18 RPM. Okay. Let's go to our next question, which is also a 2 marks question, and it is from transformers. So what the question is, they have given us a single phase transformer, and the total iron losses are 2.5 kilowatt at a nominal voltage of 440 volts and frequency of 50 Hz. And they also given us another combination that is of iron loss, that is 850 watts at 220 volts and 25 Hz. And they are asking us to find out the hysteresis and eddy current losses at nominal voltage and frequency. So first case, 2.5 kilowatt at a voltage of 440 and 50 Hz. So V by F ratio is 440 by 50. And similarly, in the second case, the V by F ratio is 220 by 25. Here in both the cases 1 and 2, the V by F ratio is constant, it is same. So whenever the V by F ratio is constant, the total iron losses is given by the equation AF plus BF square, where A and B are constants, F is a frequency, right? So take the first case, that is 2.5 kilowatt equal to A, F is 50 plus B into 50 square. And similarly, if you take the second case, that is 850 watts equal to A into 50 plus B into 50 square. So to solve these two equations, we will be getting A as 18 and B as 0.64. Now they are asking us to find out the hysteresis losses at nominal voltage and frequency. So we know A as well as B. Just substitute the value 50 H we will be getting. So hysteresis loss is given by AF, that is 18 into 50, 900 watts, and eddy current losses is total losses minus hysteresis loss. At nominal voltage and frequency, the total iron losses are 2.5 kilowatt, right? Substitute. If you take the difference, you will be getting 1600 watts.